Good afternoon and welcome to the final episode. That's right, episode number 15 of the Sunday Spin. But don't worry, folks, we got lots of great shows coming up in the near future, and I'm super excited to have such a special guest with us today. Actually, a couple special guests, but our first special guest, yes, I'm talking about the Administrator General of the ATP, for its acronym in Spanish, the Authority of Tourism in Panama, the one and only Iván Eskildsen. Welcome to the show, my friend. Happy Sunday. How are you?
Great. Relaxed. It's a Sunday, so I'm here. Happy to be talking to you.
Oh, no.
Ready to
we got you there?
Get up to speed. Sorry, didn't hear the last question.
Hello. Oh.
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I think. Goodness.
Can you hear me well?
All right. Give us just a second. You know what? We're going to take a look at a nice little film. We're going to get this really quickly resolved. Iván, it was my fault. Let me throw this film on real quick. And when we get back, we're going to have Iván talking to us about internal and international tourism. Guys, sorry about that, Iván. I don't know what's going on with the internet. I think the internet's ready to go on vacation too, you know? We've all been waiting. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to play a quick video, let a couple more people jump on, introduce this beautiful country to the rest of the world and to all of those here in Panama that are watching today. And after that, we are going to get into some fun and interesting questions with Sir Eskildsen in just a moment, guys. Sit back and enjoy our beautiful country of Panama. All right, so again, guys, we are here with the one and only Administrator General of the ATP, for its acronym in Spanish, the Authority of Tourism here in Panama, the one and only Iván Eskildsen. Thank you again for being here today on the show. Now, international tourism is opening up tomorrow, October 12th. We're super excited about that, and we're going to talk about internal tourism and international tourism. So let's get into this. But first, since the country is opening, I'd really like to understand and talk to you about Panama's positioning in the global tourism world. What is your position and how are you planning to present Panama to the rest of the world?
For sure, for sure. Thanks again, Austin, to joining us this morning or this afternoon on Sunday, talking about Panama's position. This is something we have been working on actually during this lockdown. But we just approved the new Sustainable Tourism Master Plan up to 2025. This is the instrument that legally directs. It's our path according to the tourism law. It was approved recently by the National Tourism Council, which is a public-private entity, and the positioning it speaks about how Panama should be working on our authentic experiences, specifically both nature and cultural heritage. So we have a very unique nature. More than 30% of the land in this country is protected area. We have awesome rainforests with great history among the in between the nature. So this is very unique, So, but besides that, we also have the canal, which is something that is very, very unique, and it's probably the most known item of Panama. So we'll continue pushing in that direction, except that we also want to highlight the history behind Panama as a bridge of the world, not only with the canal, but also with the colonial routes, for example, Camino de Cruces, Camino Real, which are also protected areas. So they are very, very unique, that they have biodiversity and great unique history behind them. For example, Pirate Henry Morgan went through the Camino de Cruces when he attacked the old city. So this is so unique, such a unique area in Panama. You can go and just like that one, I can go on and on. But again, getting back to the beginning, this authentic nature and history and culture, we're always trying to sort of connect with the idea of Panama is a country that changed the world when it emerged as the biomuseum states, right? So that's actually a claim that's being used by NASA. The NASA Earth Observatory in their website explains how Panama is probably the most important geological event in the last 60 million years, because the currents of the Earth change, the climate of the Earth change. So again, Panama as a land bridge, ever since that, we've been changing the world, and now it can change visitors from all the world.
Man, I love it. I love it. Now, being an expat, I've been here for quite a few years. However, I still don't know all what goes on within the government. Now, you have the Authority of Tourism and then Proctour. Can you explain us a little bit about the difference of what each do, and what are some of the elements, the Proctour, these promotions that we are looking to present to the world, and our different promotions and your focuses?
For sure. The good thing, Proctour was born as an entity in the year 2017. So it was born in the previous administration, but it actually started organizing itself in this administration. I belong to the board of directors of Proctour, one of 7 members, and also the president of the National Tourism Council, which is the Authority of Tourism's board, also belongs to the board at Proctour. According to law, the way we organize with each other is through the Sustainable Tourism Master Plan. So that's really the key document that has to state where we all should be heading to, not only in international promotion, which is what Proctour is focusing on, right? In PR, just in marketing in general, sales, trying to contact international tour operators. So that's basically the main functions. But also, and then connecting with what the Authority of Tourism is doing to prepare with local products, local tourism products in general, how we're working together with other government entities such as the Ministry of Environment. So the Authority of Tourism as is explained in the master plan, the Authority of Tourism is creating a technical unit, the master plan technical unit. So that unit has to coordinate everything in the sector, with everything with the private sector, everything with Promtour, the tourism cabinet also, which also coordinates all the public entities, because obviously not everything depends on the Authority of Tourism. We have to deal with roads, we have to deal with electricity, we have to deal with capacitación, training, right? The protected areas with the Ministry of Environment, the Ministry of Culture. So the technical unit has the very ambitious task of coordinating everything through the master plan. So that's the idea of how we're working together.
Well, and I love that, and that's great. And I remember when that was put together, and then that it was coming out, and such a great, obviously having that budget to really reach international tourists. And I believe now, obviously this lockdown, this pandemic has been such a horrible strain on the world, but the silver lining with it, people would go to Greece, or people would go to New York or Venice, or all these places that are such high density, where you have massive hotels, where on the flip side, you can look at Panama with so much nature, so much beaches. I mean, you can walk on the beach in Bocas del Toro and you'd be lucky if you see another human being. And exactly. I think that's going to be an attraction, along with, as some of the hotels throughout all the interior, probably 90% or more, are between 3 rooms and 19 rooms. So, I mean, is that something? I know that the ATP and Promtour, you guys are looking to promote nature, but is that something that also is going to be in the promotion, is showing that our accommodations are really tight knit? You have cabins. You have 5 cabins at a place in Boca Chica or in Pedesi or Banao. Is that something that we are going to put out there to the public?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's part of the experience, in the sense that we have as you mentioned, we have low density experiences throughout the country. In a way, the fact that because tourism has never really been developed full-fledged, if we may use that expression, it's now basically an advantage, because we are the path less traveled. However, we do have just enough infrastructure to get the wheels going, and now, as I know you also want to talk about investment incentives later. The idea is that we get the ball rolling. We sort of demonstrate how Panama is able to attract tourism according to this new positioning that we're focusing on, and it should be it should be successful, considering how for decades scientists and others have highlighted how Panama's natural and cultural heritage is really something extraordinary, and unique with regards to diversity, and the fact that also we are a small country, and the fact that we are a safe country, a dollarized economy, it all makes it a lot easier.
Man, so sorry, we're having internet issues in Panama this afternoon. Hopefully it's just my side and you guys can still hear Iván over there. Oh, goodness. Goodness gracious. Oh, goodness. Hopefully you guys are still there. We're trying to get everything connected back up here. Sorry about that. It's going haywire over here, Iván. My apologies. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you well. No worries.
Oh, my God. All right. So
part of it all.
I do want to talk about investments, because this is something big, and this is big for the future of Panama. Now, there's a new incentive that is directed towards either investors or operators that have to do with tourism. Can you give us just a little rundown on what that consists of, and how can people benefit from this incentive?
For sure. The incentives, a brand new incentives law, which was approved on December 31st of the past year, but this late July, It was the reglamento, the rules were established in an executive decree. So the idea with these incentives is starting from the point that in Panama, most investment has been directed towards Panama City, so the municipality of Panama, but in general, attractions are throughout the country. We also recognize that Panama City has amazing attractions. So even by itself, it can be a great destination. But when you add that the other experiences throughout the country, then we are truly, out of the charts with regards to our experiences. So through this law, the idea is that for investments outside of Panama City, 100% tax credit is provided to the investor, and also that investor who receives the credit can also transfer this credit to a third party, so he can really cash in earlier than the period that the law mentions, because it mentions not more than 15% yearly that you can use the tax credit. So you can somehow deduct, if you're able to find a third party that wants to buy the credit, then this is something that you can somehow cash in beforehand. So we think it's a great incentive to attract. We're talking about eco lodges. Before we were talking about the experiences in nature in Panama. So definitely we're focusing on creating more eco lodges on other tourism experiences that are able to capitalize on this amazing nature and culture we have. And also the idea, we're focusing on a few specific sites, also because as we've also mentioned recently, the president just approved the reactivation of the tourism conservation research strategy. This is something that is embedded also in the master plan. What this focus does is that we are connecting the Ministry of Culture, the Ministry of Environment, the Secretariat for Science and Research, SENACIT, with the Authority of Tourism, and sort of creating a committee to work on our natural and cultural heritage together, on the heritage routes. And we can speak a bit more about the heritage routes if you want. But regarding
I think that you're bringing everything together. I mean, that's incredible. Having
the idea.
Ministries.
The idea. So the idea with the investments, for example, we're focusing on Amador. For example, Amador has old, for example, constructions from the old military bases. So just right next to the brand new Panama Convention Center, and right by the Bio Museum. So if we're able to attract, well, this is in Panama City, so this won't be part of the law, but it's also part of the focus we have. But also other old military bases such as Sherman in the Caribbean. Now with the new bridge that goes over the canal in Colón, this area opens up. It is right next to San Lorenzo, right next to the canal, right next to the historical Chagres River, and there's old military batteries, all military batteries, just waiting to create new opportunities of investment. And right in the jungle, where jungle warfare training was conducted, back then when Vietnam happened, everybody came to Panama for warfare training, and then went to Asia or wherever there was any battles by the army.
Well, that's incredible. And I actually heard that the Embra tribes would train U.S. soldiers to survive the elements, which is super neat. That's an incredible, very incredible element of Panama that I didn't know. I just learned recently. But yeah, so we're talking about international tourism, which is big and it's huge. However, internal tourism, like I was just talking to a friend that is he lives in Panama. He has a hotel in Panama. He's been up in Canada. Where he is at in Canada, they've seen an increase in their tourism by 25%, and it's only internal tourism. So obviously we can expect that all of us here in Panama City that have unfortunately been locked up, due cause, we have to, figure out how to get along with this COVID situation. But with the internal tourism now, and as exciting as it is and getting out there, how is this going to work per se, and also for international tourists with the lockdowns over the weekend? You know, over in Boquete, we have I think it's from Friday at 5 p.m. or 7 p.m. until Monday at 5 a.m. Are people going to be able to travel? Are tourists, international tourists, going to be held accountable to those lockdowns? Are we going to see some changes there? You know, I really want to go to Pedesi. I'm going to Pedesi next Friday. Very excited. I was thinking about driving home Sunday, but it doesn't look like I can, so I got to stay an extra day. So I'll come home Monday morning. But I know that obviously will help a lot of people that have to work Monday to be able to travel on Sundays. What are the plans with going forward with getting those lockdowns removed?
Okay, so for sure, this is something that we are constantly communicating with the Ministry of Health, right? In general, they have a big situation to deal with. So opening up, it's great. It's a huge responsibility right now. So we're thankful that we are opening up finally. Everybody, I think, is agrees to that. Obviously, and some people would like to see how that happens all at once, or at least more activities simultaneously, and specifically under the Sunday lockdown is an issue that right now we understand, and we're talking to the private sector all the time, and they explain obviously how it affects the reactivation. So this is something that in particular we are focusing on with the Ministry of Health to see how it can be balanced. In general, for example, the beaches, also that it still doesn't have an exact date. That is also an item that we're working on for a date to be announced as soon as possible. But all in all, the idea is really that with this huge responsibility of opening, the idea is how can we do it in a gradual manner, in a way that we reduce risk as much as possible. So I think, for example, the protocols that are implemented in the airport have been pretty good, and the fact that people that don't have a test, they can do a rapid test right in the airport for $50. That's also an advantage. But definitely there are some things to still adjust, and this is the conversation we're having. And the idea in general is how we can avoid having to lock down again. Hopefully, we won't have, or the government won't have to go through that, and we all as citizens won't have to go through that again, as we have seen. How Madrid has had to somehow lock down Israel and other places based on second waves of contagion, right? So in general, the idea is, and speaking particularly about Chiriquí and Bocas, in those cases, it was done because of the increase in cases and the index of contagions. So what the communication I'm having there with the Ministry of Health is on how soon or what index would we have to reach in order for that to be reversed. Because again, we understand how this affects businesses, and we all need businesses to reactivate the country. Even the government needs taxes to be collected again in order to somehow balance out the budget, which is a very difficult issue as well, right? So again, summarizing, the idea is how there are certainly issues identified that are difficult right now, and that we are trying for the Ministry of Health to announce a balancing out of these measures as soon as possible. However, I do recognize how it is a very difficult task right now in order how to open gradually with responsibility and trying again not to have to move backwards, right?
Of course. And I'm sure it's a huge responsibility, and working together and intertwining everything. I mean, it's definitely not an easy task. We compliment you on it. We look forward to all of these great incentives and new routes. And I love this idea of promoting nature. I think it's spot on. Again, it's unfortunate that we're in a pandemic, but it actually increases the benefit of focusing on nature, because I think that Northern Americans and Europeans are going to really be attracted to places that you can go and, spend a day on a beach and not see a million other people like you would in these high density areas. So I compliment you on that. Before we let you go, and I really appreciate you coming on today, is there anything else you would like to say or mention on the show today?
For sure. And first of all, to stay tuned for everybody, we will be sharing more information on the heritage routes, which is was sort of the main driver for the tourism products in this brand new sustainable tourism master plan. I actually just sent you a link on a presentation you can check out, Austin. So we're dividing between green heritage, blue heritage, and cultural heritage, and the idea is circuits and paths throughout the country that sort of portray this amazing and extraordinary culture and heritage we have. And right now, what we all can do is, in this gradual process, is identify areas that we haven't been to. The idea of staycations, first of all. Right now the protected areas are still free, right? So for example, for those in Panama City, you can go to Soberanía, you can go to Camino de Cruces, amazing rainforest areas with great paths, hiking paths, right, very close to Panama City with history. So this is something very unique, and I think also for our mental health, our physical health, we're all sort of craving for this idea of getting back a contact with nature, having being with our families or our closest friends together, always trying to wear a mask and everything that's still part of the current situation, right? The new normal, if you may. But this is a great time to get to know, to sort of reconnect with this amazing Panamanian nature and culture that we have.
Well, and it's funny you say that because, that's one thing that I see as a gringo from the U.S., if I was living in New York, for example, I would never go to the Statue of Liberty. It's like, it's in my backyard. So, and it's weird that we think that way as human beings, and I think this is a great opportunity to reintroduce Panama to the Panamanians that would typically be traveling to Europe and traveling to the U.S. at this time of the year, that, hey, look what we have in our backyard, like over 500 islands and all these these parks and natural areas. Now, one thing on that note, I would like to ask you, now, I think last week there is a new implementation where if you want to go to one of these natural parks or national parks, you need to send in an email, correct? And you need to do so 72 hours in advance. Is that correct?
Correct. Actually, that's very important that you mention it, because it's good that people know. If you go to the social media of Mi Ambiente, which is Minister of Environment, Mi Ambiente, PMA, and also the Authority of Tourism, we have information on how you need to go forward with an email, sort of pre-reserved. This is the idea of how the Ministry of Environment is trying to control capacity, right? So we don't have any excess risk of contagions in this reopening, right? So it's very important that you mention it. So people that are interested, go to the social media of Mi Ambiente or at ATP.
Awesome. Okay. And is there a expectancy? I mean, obviously there's been so much unexpectancy with this situation, and we don't want to continue on that, but is that going to be something that's going to be long-term, or is that something that we can expect to go away? Because I know that can be hard for, international tourists coming in, a flight changes, or, and having to do 72 hours in advance. How long should we be expecting that to be in place?
Yeah, from what we were communicated from the Ministry of Environment, the idea is that it's more for this initial phase. They haven't communicated when it will end, but it's definitely related to this initial phase where we all want to control, of course, crowds and any excess people going through, right?
Awesome. Well, and we all want to get, I know you as much as anybody else, because, obviously you've been slammed with a very hard situation, like all of us have, but, with your big plans. I know it was a step back, and again, I compliment you on moving forward and keep pushing. And I look forward to seeing Panama thrive right now. I think this is our opportunity, and this is our time to really show the world who we are. And if you're out there, come on down. We got lots of nature, lots of beaches, lots of beautiful birds and whales, and tons of activities to do. Again, Iván Eskildsen, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate you taking your time on this Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you soon. We are going to jump in to a quick video. This is going to be a listing from Inside Panama. As you guys know, this show is sponsored by Inside Panama. It's all about showing people around the world who we are, what we have to offer, both on a tourism basis, but also if you're looking to come down here and live and change things up, this can be one of the opportunities. You know, Iván was talking about all these incentives, so we're going to actually show you 3 listings today of 3 different hotels that you can purchase here in Panama. 2 are going to be in Boquete, 1 in Bocas del Toro. The first one here in Boquete, we're going to show that. And right after that, we got Mr. Richard Vuytowecz, the gentleman that has been putting all these amazing films about Panama together. Again, Iván, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
All right. Happy to be with you, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Iván. Have a good one. Talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, give me 1 second. We got Mr. Richard Vuytowecz. I know I'm saying it wrong. My apologies.
Everybody gets it wrong, buddy. It's okay. It's Vuytowecz.
Man, thank you so much for correcting me. Now, I got to mention real quick again That hotel that we just saw was in Boquete. If you want more information on that hotel, don't worry. We got Michael Vuytowecz, founder of Inside Panama, coming up right after this. And don't forget, guys, they got the Fly and Try program. Come down to Panama. If you rent, you can get 1 month rent back from Inside Panama with a purchase of a home. More information on that, or to get your free ebook, just email Inside Panama. Their email is freeebook@ipreinfo.com. Again, we're here with Richard, the man behind all these beautiful films that we're seeing here in Panama. Richard, welcome to the show. And man, you came here for a film project right before the lockdown, and you got stuck here, but it seems like there might be some silver lining. Give us a little background on your story and how you were ended up here in Panama.
I'm beginning to think it's just some mystic thing happening here, because I got locked down in April. I was supposed to go back to Trinidad on April 1st. Biggest April Fool's joke in the world. And I could not go back.
We got you there.
They got me there.
I think we're having internet issues all over Panama today. I don't know if it's just me.
Yeah, it's a little tricky here as well. But yeah, I mean, I got stuck here. I ended up in a hostel with thankfully a good friend. He was able to kind of let me stay there for a couple of months and so on. So that definitely helped. I was really stranded for a bit. And I'm talking about sleeping in a tent in people's lawns and stuff. It was a little rough. But in doing that, I've been able to meet a couple really great people. It kind of pushed me to be a little more creative than just laying around during the quarantine and watching the birds fly around, which is nice on a vacation. But, when you think 3 months, 4 months of that, it could get a little monotonous. So as things slowly started to open back, I started meeting more people, and I had some encouragement from friends to open a YouTube channel. And that's where everything took off. In opening that and putting out the visuals of Panama, I just got a whole lot of interest from various parties, just people who wanted to see more of Panama, people who wanted to showcase more of Panama like yourself. And I mean, the rest is history. Here we are, right, on this interview.
I love it, my man. I love it. And your work is just absolutely amazing. Talk to me. How long have you been in photography and cinematography? I mean, obviously, this is not something you just pick up and do. It seems like you've had quite a bit of experience.
Yeah, well, let me take you back a little bit in history. So I was really a web developer. I was always into cameras and technology and web development and just hooked on the internet. So, of course, I got, a job having to do something with that. And in doing websites for a particular gentleman called James O'Connor, he was a photographer for the websites that I was doing. And he once took me out to this adventure race to do behind-the-scenes photos of what he does. And after that experience, I mean, this is like a 2-day long adventure race, starting from one end of the island in Trinidad and Tobago to the other. And it's like kayaking, cycling, running through jungle, and just being exposed to like a completely different side of photography other than what I already knew, like portraiture and so on. That was it. Like, I was hooked. I no longer wanted to sit down behind a computer and code websites anymore. I really wanted to get out there, and I'm an outdoors guy. I like being indoors, yes, but I'm always out. I'm always active. I'm always by a waterfall or a beach or surfing or whatever the case may be. So being able to capture what I see and appreciate out there as well, it takes me to the next step and then the next level. So that's how I got into photography, and the video thing started by doing wedding. So you can take photography with the same camera you're doing video with, and that just kind of progressed. It took a life of its own. And little bit by little bit, I kind of got into a niche. I started a company doing media in Trinidad, and we did several things. We did the weddings, of course. We did commercials, corporate, and a little bit of adventure film. There was this private tourism company called Rome TT that I worked with heavily. Just going all over Trinidad and Tobago and filming and capturing it in all its glory. And that's where I realized, okay, that's my niche. I want to be out there. I want to capture adventure things, and I'm good at it. So why not? And that's also what brought me to Panama in the first place.
I love it. Well, yeah, you definitely are good at it. That's awesome. Now, you've been around Panama quite a bit. I see all your great work. Tell me, what are some of the favorite elements that you've run into, or places, destinations that you are just in awe about here in Panama?
That is extremely difficult to narrow down. So again, a little more history. I first came to Panama January of last year, 2019.
Okay.
And this is my fourth time back since. That should tell you everything, right? I mean, it was just supposed to be a one-time project for a television show that I was filming. And when I got here, just landing in the airport in the first place blew my mind. Like, that cityscape is phenomenal. I had no idea Panama was so developed. And just from those couple of visits, on the first 3 times, every time I saw a different place or a new place, it was just like, oh my God, I need to be here constantly. People need to understand what's happening in Panama. They don't know. They have no idea. I don't have any idea. I've been here for 8 months. I've seen so many places that Panamanians haven't even seen, but still, I've just scratched the surface. So to call a favorite place, I'm a surfer. So obviously places like Playa Banao, Punta Chame Banks, Santa Catalina. I haven't gone there yet, but I heard the waves are good. I have to visit Bocas. Playa Banao, definitely one of my favorite places. And then lovely Boquete. Boquete is just one of the most serene places, and it reminds me of very much of certain places in Trinidad and Tobago that I spend a lot of time just in meditation mode or just zoning out. You know what I mean? String up a hammock and that's it. Like, float with the birds. So yeah, I would say those are definitely my 2 favorite places in Panama, but I have so much more to see. And of course, collaborating with you and Mike from Inside Panama, it has opened up some doors to be able to really get into all the other places that I need to get to and capture and just appreciate in Panama. So that's very exciting vlog episodes coming up within the next few months into a year. I mean, all these things just kind of popped up based on the fact that I started to put things on the channel. So it's going well.
Yeah, and it's I think at the first video I saw, there's that, and I know a lot of people can understand what I'm saying. When you're driving from Boquete to Panama City or anywhere in that direction, there's that big, massive waterfall that you can see cascading off the mountain. And you went and you hiked up there first off, then you did the drone, and it was like
hiked. I hiked halfway, and I got a life-saving ride the other half up because it's pretty
that helps
steep.
a lot too.
That view up there is
incredible. Yeah, and thank you for making that video, because everybody wonders, what is that waterfall? We see it from such a distance. But it's funny you say that ride, because one time Michael Vuytowecz and I, we went to the top of Peru, and we had these photos, and everyone was writing on Facebook, how was the hike? And it's like, the hike? No, we took a truck. So
yeah. So I have a lot of intention of going up to Bocas, to Volcan Barur as well. I want to go twice. I want to hike it because I like hiking and so on. But when I'm going to capture it, I'm going to be taking a lot of gear, and it's hard to make a 6-hour hike uphill with all that equipment on your back. So I think I will drive up as well the first time, capture it in all its glory, and then do it afterward. That's coming up soon, by the way.
I can't wait. And so if someone out there watching wants to get a hold of you, wants to check out more of your videos, how can they do that?
They can just go to YouTube and search Adventure Rich, space in between, and it will come up. And in there, the About page, you can reach me on Instagram, you can send me an email, you can reach me there. So hop over to the channel, enjoy the visuals that are coming up, and contact me if you need to.
Awesome, Richard. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show today. I don't know how the internet is out there. I know that the new company in Panama that came and changed our box this week, they said it's going to be better. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, they're probably having quarantine complications as well, so you never know.
It happens. It's, it's some of the hiccups here. It's okay. It happens everywhere. Again, I appreciate you coming on. We're going to check out the second listing of the day. Remember, this is a listing with Inside Panama Real Estate. We're showing you 3 hotels today. This next one's also in Boquete. And if you're interested in more information on it, Mike's going to talk all about that just up next after we watch this second video, or you can obviously email freeebook@ipreinfo.com. You can get more information, and you can also get that free ebook about everything to do with moving or living in Panama. Again, Richard, thank you so much for taking the time this beautiful Sunday. And man, I can't wait to see you out there and go on some adventures, my brother.
Oh yeah, it's going to be great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
All right, guys, please welcome the one and only, yes, I'm talking the founder of Inside Panama Real Estate, Mr. Michael Vuytowecz. Welcome to the show, my brother. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great, Austin. Thanks for having me on again. It's been a great run with you, and I sure enjoy it.
Man, 15 episodes. Thank you to all our viewers for coming on and checking us out every Sunday. It's been a blast. We got some big stuff coming. Don't think we're just getting off the internet. The Sunday Spin is ending, but we're coming back with some awesome new shows, a lot more traveling, and just a lot more exposure to Panama now that they're going to allow us to travel around the country, open up international tourism as well as internal tourism. Now, Michael, we just watched two listings. That first one, both of these are in Boquete, but let's talk a little bit about this first listing that we just saw earlier on in the show, right after Iván Eskildsen's interview.
Okay, well, that first hotel that we saw is a 14-room B&B. Also has a cafe that serves breakfast and lunch. It was built in 2015. It is currently rated the #1 most popular hotel in Boquete. There's a drive-through coffee service, which is very unique and very cool. It's been great during COVID. On your way to work, drive through, get the coffee, off you go. It's been great. It's really an information hub for tourists that are interested in tours, transportation services, hiring a guide. Tim does a great job, the owner, of connecting people with services. It's really great. This place has amazing views from the deck. It's in a fabulous location. You can literally walk to town in 3 minutes. You're at Restaurant Row, downtown Boquete. They offer 3 different styles of rooms for different budgets. They have the budget room. They have private suites. There's triple suites for triple rooms or beds for families. The lot is 1,375 square meters, so there's room to add a little bit more if you wanted to. It's a great opportunity, like I say, very close to town, and the asking price is $1.5 million.
Awesome, awesome. So you guys remember that was the first video we watched. Now, we just watched the second video right before you came on. Let's talk about this hotel.
Okay, this one has more rooms. It's 18 beds, 11 bath hotel. It's located in Alto Boquete, which is very close to town. It's 2 miles out. It's right on the highway. The lot's 1,200 square meters. The building itself is 900 square meters, so it's big. There's 6 townhome-style units that are fully furnished with kitchenettes. Each unit has a bedroom on the main floor and 2 on the upper floor. Upon entering the lobby, there is a restaurant with baths and another room that could be used as a piano bar. Neither of those are operational at this time, but it would present a great extra income opportunity. Open the restaurant and rent it out to somebody else. And also there is a laundry room on site. Asking price on this one, $1.5 million.
Wow. So you got 2 choices, both at $1.5 million. And man, if you're looking to change things up, you're up in the U.S., you've always wanted to own a hotel. Like Iván said in the beginning of the show, there's all kinds of new incentives. So you're going to want to ask your attorney about that. Again, if you get that free ebook, we got all that information and more about how to connect with the right attorneys, how to move your dog down here, how to get your residency, the whole 9 yards. Remember, email freeebook@ipreinfo.com. Mike, what do you think? Should we take a look at listing number 3 today over in Bocas del Toro?
Let's do it.
Awesome. And we'll talk to you about that as soon as we watch it. I just want to look at the beach, man. I'm dreaming of the beach. So here we go, guys. Enjoy, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
Look at his face.
Gotta love this internet. Here we go. Well, try. Oh, what a good, I just got zoned in on all that beautiful beach and ocean. Mike,
Yes,
let's
sir.
talk about this listing, number 3 of the day over in Bocas del Toro.
Well, this is the original and the largest beach hotel on the island. It only has 9 rooms, so of course it's never crowded. It's located on the eastern shore of Isla Caranero, which is a 90-second water taxi ride from Isla Colón, the main island. This property offers 400 feet of beachfront, all beachfront island resort. There's 5 private cabañas that are located throughout the beach property. There are large rooms with 1 bedroom and a bath in the back, screened-in sitting area on the porch. There's 3 queen-size beds, 2 that have original single beds that can accommodate up to 3 guests. 2 beachfront bungalows at the beach level with private screened-in patios, refrigerators. Again, just steps from the Caribbean. You saw the free standalone building in the video. Each bungalow has 1 bedroom, 1 queen-size bed, and 1 single bed that can accommodate up to 3 guests or children. There's 2 suites on the second floor, each with an open-air balcony directly on the beach. Each suite has 2 bedrooms, 1 room with 1 queen-size bed, 1 room with 2 single beds, that can accommodate up to 4 guests. The over-the-water restaurant serves up delicious meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I know you're familiar with that restaurant. It's a great restaurant.
Great restaurant.
Yeah. Dine in the open air while taking in breathtaking panoramic views. I mean, you're literally over the water. And many options for this property and plenty of room also for expansion. Asking price, $950,000.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, and that's a beautiful property and very, very, very popular and great recommendation. So whoever buys that really walks into a huge winning situation. Very cool. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael Vuytowecz. It's been a pleasure doing the Sunday spin with you for the last 15 weeks. You got to love Murphy's Law. Messing with the internet today. But you know what? It's been fun. We thank all of our viewers for joining us. Remember, if you have any questions about real estate, you're here in Panama and you want to sell a property, you're here in Panama, you want to buy a property, you're in the US, you're in Canada, you're in Europe, and you want to buy a property, just email freeebook@ipreinfo.com. That email goes directly to Mr. Michael Vuytowecz, and he will take care of you and make sure one of his great agents from across the whole country. You know, that's the great thing about Inside Panama. They cover such a span of area throughout the country from A to Z, and they like to help you get through the whole process. Remember, freeebook@ipreinfo.com. Mr. Michael, any last words before we end the final show of the Sunday Spin?
Well, again, I'd like to thank you, Austin. It's been a really great ride, 15 weeks of fun and introducing Panama to people. And don't forget the fly and try. If you come to Panama and you want to rent before you buy, not a bad idea. If you ultimately end up buying through us, we will rebate back to you the first month rent that you paid. And we look forward to seeing you. We can't wait to serve you. And we're so eager to get back to work that I just can't even tell you.
Awesome. And to the beach.
And to the beach, indeed.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you again for joining us every Sunday here for the Sunday Spin. Don't worry, lots of great shows coming up in the very near future. So follow the Panama Good Times Facebook page, and we will see you then. Until next time, ciao.